Mary Catherine, I have to discuss two subjects with you. Both of them are not really fun. One is Epstein, and the other is the AI bubble. Which would you like to do first?
Let's just go with Epstein.
Okay, we'll go with Epstein. Last night, I got asked by John Roberts on Special Report what I thought about Epstein, and I kind of jumped the gun. It makes me mad. Here's what I had to say. Cut number one.
Democrats here trying to pin this on President Trump, but the blowback. Stacey Plaskett, Larry Summers, who said, "I'm deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused. I take full responsibility for my misguided decision to continue communicating with Mr. Epstein." It goes on, but he talked to Epstein for years after the sexual things first became public. So who comes out of this worse?
It's a frag grenade that hits a bunch of people that we don't know. There are at least 36 victims of Jeffrey Epstein who he abused, that I feel for them that they're back in the center light. It will not take a dent in Donald Trump. He's got nothing to do with this. I believe him completely that this will absolutely bounce off of him. However, it is going to always tar the people who pushed it forward, including the Republicans who pushed it forward, because it's a stunt that was indifferent to the needs of the victim. It should make people angry, and it will hurt some innocent people.
So, Mary Cat, that's my view. It was a stunt that was indifferent to the victims. What do you think about it?
I think you're basically right, and also that everyone was sort of having their hands forced to do it, partly because the initial deal given to Jeffrey Epstein that sort of created the mythos around this was a sweetheart deal, right? There's always been something weird here, and I don't think this is going to solve the conspiracy theories. Whatever comes out, people will just say, oh, well, they didn't give us all the things we needed. I, too, am sympathetic that I think there are victims, and there are going to be sort of people on the periphery of these communications that didn't do anything wrong but are mentioned who are going to be part of this as well. But I think Trump in particular, because this is a stunt that is directed at him at the moment, needed to say, let's get this out and move on. And that's the stage of the game that we were at. But like, a lot of people view this as a decoder ring for all of elite corruption, and I don't think that's what you're going to find in these files. I also agree with you that this feels very much like Russiagate, where everyone was like, there's a scoop, there's a scoop, there's a scoop, there's a scoop every 5 minutes in media, because they want it to be a scoop that takes down Donald Trump. But it's not really there. The story's not there. And in this case in particular, I think we have we have contraindicators that he was, in fact, kicking people out of Mar-a-Lago for this bad behavior. And so I think it's not what they think it is or want it to be, and we will find that out as it is released. But it won't solve the conspiracy.
In your
problems.
Normally podcast, do you think the normies think Epstein's got anything to do with Trump? Because we're Beltway people. I just think it's ludicrous, because we would have found out about it years ago, given the number of lawyers and eyes on these files. But do the normies believe that?
So that's my take, that this is, we would have known about it by now if there was this bombshell here. On the normie side, yes, there are people who care about this, because I think once you get to Netflix documentary, then it's a normie issue, right? And people have this sort of broad suspicion about elites getting better treatment than we would get in this situation, and that's why they're mad about it. But the explicit Trump-Epstein connection, I don't know that matters to them. And also, this is not a high-tier issue of concern for normal people. Their other day-to-day lifestyle concerns are much bigger than this. So I think it is
all right, let me go to one of those.
Parlor game going on here.
In 13 minutes, the markets close. Sometime in the next hour, NVIDIA publishes its results. Either they'll be super and duper and the AI euphoria will continue, or the bubble could break. If the bubble breaks, I think it's going to be bad. Now, I've got no dog in this fight. I'm not invested in anything that's remotely connected to AI. Zero exposure. The Republicans get blamed if a bubble goes off that everyone knows is a bubble.
Yes, I think they do, in part. Always people give presidents a lot of credit for good economies and a lot of blame for bad economies, and it's not always their fault. In this case, yeah, I'm concerned that this is a promise and not a real product that's being valued here. And I have other concerns about AI as well, where it's like the idea that we're creating this product that even the greatest minds in the country are rarely and not really deeply thinking about how it could change the landscape if it reaches all these promises, paired with a citizenry that is forgetting how to think and has specifically been not taught how to think during elementary, middle, and high school, and it turns out into college if you look at this UCSD study. The combination of those two things, like machines that could think and humans who can't, if we're producing that combination, not good for the society.
You just mentioned the hot button in the Hewitt household, because UCSD, University of California, San Diego, is a magnificent university in La Jolla. We've had a lot of friends go there, including my daughter's best friend. Those stats were stunning. A 300% increase in remedial math. Kids can't read at the 6th grade level, and they're going to a UC. I don't know how we fix that, Mary Katharine.
Well, I was reading a piece in The Atlantic called A Recipe for Idiocracy, and the way you fix it is that you go back to normal things that conservatives think are normal and good that libs have been pushing back on for 20 years. And that is, standardized testing is a good indicator of where you are, and it's not racist. High expectations are good, and having people meet them is good. Consequences for not meeting those goals is good. Keeping schools open instead of closed is good. All the things that the left told you were going to be super great turned out to teach people not to think. And then after they weren't achieving, what public schools did in many cases was cover up that they weren't learning. And so then you send people into UCSD who are not tested by standardized tests because California has decided that's unfair. And you get a bunch of people who reveal that they were never taught anything the whole way through. And that is tragic.
You know, Mary Katharine, the biggest difference. The biggest difference between you and me is not 3 decades. It's that I have the college application process behind me for my children, and you have 4 cycles ahead of you. And I don't know if you're looking forward to that. There's fun involved, right? Visits. But at this point, if you had to just guess, would you rather your offspring take a year or 2 off after high school or go right in?
I think maybe take a year or 2 off and get an internship or something. I do think like we're gonna have to do an evaluation of whether college is worth it at all for my kids at the rate that I'm hearing news out of colleges. Like we have a lot of thinking to do.
Yep, I think you're right, and I think that's the normally next edition, and I hope soon the next Getting Hammered edition. Follow Mary Katharine on X at MKHammer. Listen to Normally, like and subscribe to Getting Hammered, and come right back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.